Christianity is the world's largest religion, with 2.5 billion followers. Today I'm going to introduce you to two Christians, and we're going to learn a little bit about Christianity from the Etic Perspective.
I am a Roman Catholic, cradle Catholic, born and raised. My mother went to church every day pretty much until she was a woman with children. And I would characterize it as almost an ethnic aspect rather than a chosen religious aspect. It's part of who I am, part of who my mom is and her family, and it kind of comes down through the ages, like an ethnic background, an ethnicity.
Now I'm a chaplain in the military, so I'm supposed to be very apolitical, and I operate within a pluralistic environment. So I have to be as unbiased as I can. We certainly don't advocate for proselytizing. And when I am talking to someone, my goal is not to uproot them from their belief system to get them to believe in Jesus Christ as the Son of God.
Now, when we look at any religion from an Etic perspective, we have to look at it in terms of its mythology. And it's important to understand that this does not imply that the narrative is false, only that the narrative is sacred to a community and it reinforces a community's worldview. Christianity is actually based upon the hero myth of Jesus of Nazareth, who was born and raised in Palestine during the rule of the Roman Empire. During this time, society had a lot of suffering and people were stratified into strict cultural class groups.
I'm a Christian, and I think what makes Christianity unique is that, number one, it's not so much what we do for God, but what He has done for us. And it is a relationship. And I think Christianity is defined that way and best understood when it is understood as a relationship. We will oftentimes say being a Christian is a personal relationship with God through Jesus Christ, His Son.
What really set Christianity apart from the get-go was this radical idea that someone could have a personal relationship with God.
The other part about Christianity, I think, is that it's not so much man seeking for God as it is God seeking man. And all of Christianity is a response to what God has done. We never initiate anything in the faith tradition of Christianity.
What I wanted to know most was about the origin myth. Who are we? Why are we here? What is our relationship to the world?
I believe that some higher power, the creator of the universe, always will be, and somehow created the universe. It's way beyond my comprehension. It's way beyond anybody's comprehension. And I'm striving to reach out and understand as much as I can about that. It's far more than what I've learned in my religion and what most people have learned. And I think it's amazing to consider how broad the universe is and how small we are.
I do believe that, just as the scripture says, that, God created man from the dust of the earth, and then from man He created a woman. And I think the important part in Genesis 6 and 7, I believe, is that what God created was good and He liked it. And that didn't just include mankind, humankind, but it included all of His creation, including the animals and the sky and the waters and the sun and the moon and the plants and the birds and all of that. All that God creates is good.
I've thought about that a lot, and I believe that the world was created and things started in motion, and people came as part of the evolution, the fish or the amoeba, whatever, and then created and worked on what they were able to do as they came out of the ocean or whatever. And that does not contradict my religion personally, because even if we do have evolution, rather than just somebody creating people right all at one time, I think that the difference is that at some point in time, there was a creation of consciousness or a soul that made people and humans different than animals. Not necessarily superior, but different and able to function differently. So I do think that universal creator did create human beings. I don't believe it happened in an instant. I believe it happened over time. Eons are nothing to the creator of the universe, but they are to us. So
I am a creationist when it comes to my theological understanding. I think there's a lot of good reasons to be a creationist. I think some of those are just as sound as a lot of the evolutionary theories that are out there. But as far as where did it all begin, I believe it began with a creator, and that creator is the God of creation as being revealed through the Bible.
I found myself with another really burning question. What do Christians believe happens to us after we die?
as you get older, you think about these things more often. When my dad died, he had been sick for a while. He had congestive heart failure. And another thing was he was taking care of my mom, and my mom was not an easy person to take care of. We noticed he was getting tired. We noticed that he wasn't caring as much about life. He gave up driving, and that was really, for someone who started driving when he was 12 or 13 and made a living out of it, that was a huge thing for him to do at 84. And it occurred to me that even if what happened after death was just rest, that would be enough.
For such a profound reality as death, because the mortality rate is still 100%, it's somewhat amazing to me that we don't have more information about it. 1 Corinthians 15 in the Bible is a chapter that I rely on a lot because it talks about the resurrection of the body. Several quotes by the Apostle Paul throughout the New Testament, such as Paul saying that to be absent in body is to be present with the Lord. The story of Jesus raising Lazarus from the dead, and ultimately, and most profoundly, the story of Christ himself being raised on the third day as the first fruits of all those who have fallen asleep. In other words, Christ is the first of those who will one day, that have died, will one day follow him. Christ is the first fruits of that, and we will receive then a heavenly body according to 1 Corinthians 15. Now, do I know for sure that when you die in this earthly life that you go to immediately to heaven, or do you go to a paradise? You know, I don't know if there's that much clarity on it. I don't even think Jewish theology has much to say, even in the Old Testament, about that. And I think that's why it's left so wide open to so many interpretations of what happens when we die. What I do believe, though, is that there is a place called heaven.
There was so much more I wanted to know and so much more to talk about, but we only had a little bit of time. So my question was, what impact has this religion had on your life?
The Roman Catholic Church was, as far as history is concerned, was passed down straight from Jesus. And Jesus was a Jew, and that is an ancient religion as well. I believe that is true historically. I know other religions believe that Jesus was a prophet, but they do believe he was a historical being. There's nothing that would make me stop believing that about my religion. There have been things that have stopped me in practicing my religion, which is maybe a different thing.
I think the teaching of my faith has shaped my life, and it's established my worldview, and it defines who I am.